Hello my students, it's Miss Sarah, and this week's assignment is animals and landscape photography. Now, here is my backyard, and I wanted to call your attention to the lighting on the plants here. If you can see, it's late in the day and the sun is low in the sky, beautiful sky, and it's hitting the greenery. There's my daughter Cecilia. Excuse me. It's also hitting her face. Go ahead, stand in there.
I don't know how to take pictures.
This is what I would call harsh lighting. Hang on, I'm gonna give Cecilia Patchy. Don't let him run. Okay, so Cecilia is holding Patches here. And as you can see, the way that he is lit shows every detail in his fur. And also, you want to look for some reflections in the eye. That's what a good landscape photograph and animal photograph will do. It will have that side lighting. It will be pretty harsh so that you can see all the details in the fur. And you want to look for somewhere where you can get that light. Sarah here again, and I wanted to look a little bit more closely at this greenery here. Now, when I started taking the video, the light was, I think, a lot better than it is now. And in fact, I wonder if I can compare two images from the time that I started shooting till now. And even right before I started taking the video, there was a really nice golden side light. And you still sort of see that here. The details are really pretty crisp, but actually it was a little bit better a few minutes ago. So as time goes on, you may, and the way that the lighting changes will change the quality of your images, you know. Here's another detail. You see, there's really no defining light here. It's lit, it's exposed, but there's no real highlights bumping off the leaves like you see a little bit here because of the way that the sun is hitting the leaves. And I think that was true and more so a little bit earlier, as I said. So the key is really to get that side hard lighting. So you want a pretty clear sky. You see what the sky is looking like? You don't really want a veil of clouds. And it's almost actually the opposite for portrait photography, good portrait photography. You know, you want a softer light for portrait photography. Here, the hard lighting really defines the lines of the details, and that could be true for the animal or the landscape photographs. I hope you find that helpful, and good luck shooting. Last tip I want to give is changing the settings on your camera, right? So for every assignment, I would suggest that you take about 30 pictures and change, let's say, one example, one landscape that you're doing. Don't really change your positioning in any way, but change the settings on your camera. You can go into the menu and you know, change it from automatic to landscape, or maybe it has an animal option in the scene. You can change the aperture and the shutter speed. So if you're doing animals, you would probably need a faster shutter speed because they tend to move around a lot. Whereas with the landscape, especially if you have a tripod that you can work with, you can lower it down to a slower shutter speed and close the aperture to really give great depth of field. So traditionally, landscape photographs would be like at an aperture of 22 or 11. So those higher numbers play around with. Okay, and also don't forget to bracket, so you can do your exposure and compensation of +1 or -1, just to get an idea of how your camera settings would affect the exposure of the image and the details throughout.